Hey, it's your friendly neighborhood Upfish. Welcome back to my channel, or if it's your first time here, what up? Today I'm bringing you another Diablo 4 tutorial. This is an evolution on my previous Blood Necromancer build. This is a full comprehensive guide on how to build your Necromancer from level 1 to 50. I'll show you step by step how I spend each skill point in order to get to level 50. It's an awesome build and a great template for when you reach Nightmare difficulty. This build is based around having as many powerful minions as possible on the field, while healing yourself and your minions using blood skills, while also overpowering your blood skills as much as possible to do as much damage as possible, while being able to respawn your minions consistently in practically any scenario. In Book of the Dead, for skeletal warriors I choose the Reaper, and I choose the perk Reaper attacks against enemy who are immobilized, slowed, stunned or vulnerable reduce the cooldown of their powerful wind-up attack by 2 seconds. For skeletal mages I choose the cold mages, and I choose the perk enemies who are frozen by or damaged while frozen by your cold mage's primary attack are made vulnerable for 4 seconds. This goes hand in hand with the Reaper perk. And for the Golem, I choose the Iron Golem, and its perk, your Iron Golem slam attack also makes enemies vulnerable for 3 seconds, which again also increases the effectiveness of our tier Reapers. And all of these abilities are accentuated greatly by the gear I'll recommend getting. I have 12 skeletons on the field in total, 7 Reapers and 5 mages. My Reaper's attack time is basically entirely cut in half and they do extra damage. And my cold mages also have a blizzard attack that slows enemies and does damage over time. Then my ultimate skill and blood skills will keep them alive practically forever, making your minions themselves an extremely formidable force. Let's have a little look at how they all work together in combat, and then we'll rebuild the character from the ground up. As you can see, my minions practically have total domination over the entire field. At the end of the video I'll show you how effective the build is against a boss, while utilising all my fun blood skills. Alright, let's rebuild this Necromancer. However, know that this build does take into account that you've collected at least 5 skill points from the overworld map. So by level 50 you should at least have 53 skill points to spend, because you don't get a skill point at level 1 or a skill point at level 50. At level 1 you're going to want to spend your first skill point on Hemorrhage. You generate 8 essence per attack, burst an enemy's blood dealing 413 damage. Hemorrhage has a 20% chance to form a blood orb. Blood orbs heal you for 15% of your maximum life when picked up. Blood orbs are pretty integral to this build for keeping you and your minions alive. At level 2 you're going to want to get Enhanced Hemorrhage. After picking up a blood orb, your next Hemorrhage also deals damage to enemies around your target and grants 2 additional essence per enemy hit. At level 3 you're going to want to unlock Blood Surge. Blood Surge costs 30 essence to perform. Draw blood from enemies dealing 278 damage and expel a Blood Nova dealing 695 damage. Blood Surge's Nova damage is increased by 10% per enemy drained up to 50%. Blood Surge will end up being your core way of dealing damage. At level 4 though, we'll go back up to Hemorrhage and we'll level into Initiate's Hemorrhage. Hemorrhage grants 1.6 base life as Fortify each time it hits an enemy, and has a 1.5 chance per enemy hit to fortify you for 100% base life. At level 5, we're going to want to put a point into Enhanced Blood Surge. Blood Surge heals you for 2.5% of your maximum life when drawing blood from enemies. If 4 or more enemies are drawn from, then heal for an additional 2.5 of your maximum life. We're going to want to spend our next skill point on Paranormal Blood Surge. If an enemy is damaged by a Blood Surge's Nova while you are healthy, then gain 1 stack of Overwhelming Blood. When you have 5 stacks of Overwhelming Blood, your next Blood Surge overpowers. Now we've unlocked the Corpse and Macabre skill tree. Put 1 skill point into Blood Mist. Disperse into a Bloody Mist, becoming immune for 3 seconds. Your movement speed is reduced by 20% and you periodically deal 19 damage to enemies and heal for 0.5% of your maximum life. We level into this now, so if you're at a low level and you find yourself in trouble, you have a fallback option. Your next 4 skill points are going to want to be spent across Skeletal Warrior Mastery, Blood Surge and Hemorrhage. If you're building your character from the beginning, go 1 Skeletal Warrior, 1 Blood Surge and 2 Hemorrhage. Next we're going to ignore all the curse skills except for Skeletal Mage Mastery. Put a point into Skeletal Mage Mastery, Skeletal Warrior Mastery, Blood Surge, and then 2 points into Hemorrhage. Next get Skeletal Warriors and Blood Surge to max level and put a point into Skeletal Mage Mastery. Now that we've maxed out our basic blood skills, let's chuck a point into Gruesome Mending. Now put a point into Coalesce Blood. While healthy, your blood skills deal 6% increased damage. And a point into Transfusion, so your little minions are healed from your blood orbs too. For our ultimate skill, we're going to unlock Army of the Dead. Then we're going to unlock Prime Army of the Dead. And finally we're going to unlock Supreme Army of the Dead. This will cause an army of volatile skeletons to appear and explode over the next 7 seconds, dealing massive damage to enemies. With Supreme Army of the Dead, it'll also revive all your skeletal mages and all your skeletal warriors. So it can be useful to save it in case all of your skeletons get wiped, so you can just bring every single one of them back instantly. Next we'll get Golem Mastery to level 3, which will increase the life and damage of your golem by a total of 75%. Then max out Skeletal Mage Mastery. Next we'll move back to the Gruesome Mending skill tree. Put 2 points into Coalesce Blood and 1 point into Drain Vitality. Hitting enemies with blood skills has a 25% chance to fortify you for 2% of your base life. Next we'll go down and unlock Kalen's Edict. After you have not taken damage in the last 3 seconds, your minions gain 15% attack speed. While you have at least 7 minions, this bonus is doubled, and this is obviously a massive boost for the Reaper's attack speed as well. Next we'll go back up and we'll unlock Enhanced Blood Mist. Casting a skill that overpowers reduces the cooldown of Blood Mist by 2 seconds. Because we'll constantly be doing overpower damage, we'll be able to go invulnerable often. Then put a rank into Ghastly Blood Mist. This allows Blood Mist to leave behind a corpse every 1 second, so you can bring more skeletons back onto the field often if need be. Now max out the Drain Vitality skill, and unlock and max out Tides of Blood. When Tides of Blood is maxed out, your blood skills deal 15% increased overpower damage. This bonus is doubled while you're healthy. As we try to be healthy all the time, this damage bonus ends up being a lot. Now put 3 points into Inspiring Leader, maxing it out. This increases your minion's attack speed by 12% if you've been healthy for 4 seconds. Now put 3 points into and max out Hellbent Commander. This will allow your minions to deal 30% increased damage while you're close to them. Now put 4 more points into Blood Mist, maxing it out. Now put your final 2 skill points into the Transfusion skill, maxing it out. Now whenever you collect blood orbs, it'll heal your minions a lot too. Now I'll show you what gear I use that makes my blood skills in minions really overpowered. My Vicious Adventurer's Helm increases my maximum capacity of skeletal mages by 2, which is obviously something I want to have because I want to have as many minions on the field as possible. My Boneweave Armor of the Enabler. Consuming a corpse has a 30% chance to spawn a blood orb, which is obviously pretty valuable to this build. My Adventurer's Gloves of Retribution. Distant enemies have an 8% chance to be stunned for 2 seconds when they hit you, which isn't that relevant, but you deal 36% increased damage to stunned enemies, which is great because we use our golem to stun enemies as much as we possibly can. The Protecting Boneweave Folds. When hit while not healthy, a magical bubble is summoned around you for 4.5 seconds. While standing in the bubble, players are immune. However, this can only occur every 90 seconds, but it's nice to have alongside Blood Mist. The Goldbringer's Adventurer's Boots. Every 10 seconds, your cold skeletal mages cast a blizzard that deals 562 cold damage and continuously chills enemies 8% over 6 seconds, which is great for slowing enemies and increasing the overall DPS of the skeletal mages. That's all of my normal armor. Now moving on to my accessories. The Bloodgetter's Choker. This is obviously extremely underleveled. However, it increases my maximum skeletal warriors by 3. And because I already imprinted it, I can't move it to a better amulet using artifices. But I'm sure I'll eventually find more legendary equipment that'll increase my skeletal warriors, and then I can recycle this amulet. Now my Requiem Circle. You gain 3 maximum essence per active minion. And with 12 active minions we get 36 extra essence. However, I do have a Codex of Power with that exact same ability, so I can just put it on a better ring. And now the Blood-Bathed Band. Blood Surge's Nova echoes again after a short delay, dealing 70% less damage, which means we gain 2 stacks of overwhelming blood with Blood Surge every time we use it. And finally we have the Dragon Spine of the Frenzied Dead. Each time one of your summoning minions damages an enemy, they gain 22% attack speed for 3 seconds, up to 66%. With all of these attack increases combined, our skeletal warriors and skeletal mages basically attack twice as fast. I have 2 skulls socketed in my scythe, so I get an extra 16 life on kill. When I'm happy that all my armor is at a sufficient level, I'll socket either skulls or rubies into everything. Skulls increasing my maximum healing received, or all rubies to greatly increase my maximum overall life. Experiment with what you want to socket into your amulets and rings. And that's my overpowered Blood Necromancer build from level 1 to level 50. Now let's go have some fun and I'll see how we fare against a boss.
Ready yet.
As you can see, that was pretty easy. This build, as well as being overpowered, is just a ton of fun. Like and subscribe, or don't, you're free to live your life however you choose. Either way, thank you so much for watching, and have a great time playing.